Hello, hi. So this is a project update up until now. So continuing on working on this project, I've done like a million things, and oh, what I wanted to show you was pretty much like the project so far. So if I go into my local host and enter into the project, you can see I did a whole bunch of background changes. I don't know if I went over this in the last video, but so this application, Impressions, a free interactive user ratings site to showcase your impressions from everyday people. Anyway, so I was thinking of putting like a whole bunch of like let's say profiles and maybe locations and businesses, absolute business, plural. What else can I put in here? I was thinking of making like a very database integrated site, so I'll have like a lot of searches and kind of like Craigslist. It's very heavy on searching items and a lot of options. So here's like the view for the login, and it's very interactive. So you can see all this. It's really nice, and it's pretty cool and neat. Like, let's say I put an email, it'll check to see the value of this field to make sure it's a valid email. So even if I finish it halfway, it's going to give me that warning, and if I complete it, it's going to disappear. So also, I have this password check. It's pretty cool. So like the number of letters is going to show you the percentage, and the color is going to change based on the complexity. So test right here is red. Now if I add a number, there we go, change this to yellow. You have an orange, 3, and if I add a special character, then you start to see the green. Then if you go over 8 characters, there we go, it's like completely secure. Now if I enter some gibberish and I try to submit the form, you have a password mismatch, and the form will clear, and I can also switch between without any bugs. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to write a jQuery element. So as soon as you put your email in, your profile picture is going to update. So that's pretty cool. And it's very fast. If you did notice, like it's not like your Facebook login or anything like that. It's pretty fast and interactive. So, and the background is pretty sick. Who wouldn't want to use this? Let's see if I go back to like JavaScript and as you can see, it's like it's a lot neater, a lot more neater. Sources, scripts. Yeah, and let's see, like look at this stuff. I did a lot of cleanup on this JavaScript. So before it had like a continuous long-running script to validate the password check. So now I changed that to a change listener. So it's no longer a long-running script. So, and it's a lot neater too. It's not like really cool. So there's no more long-running script. It's actually just changed to a listener. So now this is sign up, this is login. If I log in, it goes into the login page, and that's going to require some work. If I sign up, like let's say a new, let's take a look at the database for a second. So right now I have 3 entries, and this is authentication. So authentication is going to give me pretty much like the table for all the users that are signed up. And in this table, we have email, password, and active. Okay, so active is going to tell you if the user is an active user or not. So let's go to, now this is test login 2, and I'm going to do a test password 123. Okay, test password 123, and I'm going to submit the form. And now, it's going to go back to the debugger and all this, and it's going to return register. So once it goes to register, it actually stored into the database. So let me show you the backend controller for that. So login controller, that's right here. So we have register. So register profile. So if you're on sign up, what happens is that let me go back to the script. So if you go to sign up, for example, to sign up, you're going to add a class selected for sign up. Sign up add class selected. And now when you submit the form, what happens is there's going to be a validation check. So validation check is going to first check to see if this message has a class hide. So what would that be? So let's say I give a test email, right? Test, and now you see this validation error that, hey, your email is no good, right? So test password and test password. So what happens now when I submit this form? So there we go. We have a validation check, and it says that if validation has this class hide, if it does not have this class hide, that's what this exclamation is for. Or if user is less than 6 characters or password is less than 6 characters, then you would have an invalid email or password error. So if I go ahead and check this, for example, validate has class hide. Let me just mess that up right here. You see that this is true. So if it's true, it's going to show me an error right here. And if not, then whatever the validation message is going to hide it, and we're going to redirect the form into login register if it has a class selected for sign up. So it's basically saying that if you're in sign up, if you're in the sign up tab, it will have a class selected. And if you're in that class, it's going to post back into register. That's pretty much what is going on in here. I don't know why I do this 2 o'clock in the morning, but okay, so right here, sign up has a class selected. That's where it's checking this form. Okay, so cool. So it returns me an error if there's a validation message error. But I can also fix that and call it 3. And now what happens? So let's say I hit a breakpoint right here. No. Go back to I'm going to submit this form. Now, after it goes through all the JavaScript, there we go. We hit a breakpoint and register. So first thing it does, it checks my DB service and checks login credential for email and password. Basically, it checks to see if this does not exist. If it does not exist, the DB service will insert a new account with email and password, and is going to return the view of get login. And if the account does exist, if the account does not exist, it's going to go through here. And if the account does exist, it's going to add a message, check email to activate account, and it'll return this view. So now how did I do this? If I go to my database, I create a new method, insert new account. It's going to create a list, new authentication, and it's going to add the email and password. Then it's basically going to go in and save it to the repository. And if it fails, it's going to log an error. So there we go. Check login credential, insert new accounts. Anything else? Did I do differently? Okay, so I also did one more thing differently. I got rid of the hard-coded values for my view resolver. So before I assigned this to like string values on the constructor, and I basically took that out and put it in the properties. So it's no longer hard-coded. So these are now default values. Easily changed and easily manageable. So this is going to be a big project. And I also wanted to ask for feedback. So if anyone wanted to use a new social media, like what would be some of the things that people would desire to see in a new um, application, what would they be interested in using? And I would be able to get it up and running. And let's see.